So today at Heritage Garden Canvas, we're going to show you how to fit our garden panels to a wooden structure. These are actually going to be fitted in our showroom, and I'm going to use a set of tools here. So they're all marine grade fasteners, and I'm going to use a set of braddles which can be purchased quite cheaply at Screwfix or somewhere similar. And we have a 9mm nut runner to insert the studs. You could use a 9mm ring spanner or a deep socket to insert the studs. We'll show you those fittings and tools in detail. It's most important that you actually fit the panels to where they were actually measured. So a common mistake can be to actually measure to one position, perhaps if you're not covering the whole of the framework, and actually then go and fit the panel somewhere different. So perhaps when they're measured, if you've not gone to the extremities of the framework, it would be a good idea to actually leave some marks. So I'm going to take a braddle, I'm actually going to go through the hole that's in the lithodox stud, and I'm going to pass that into the timber. Then what we're going to do, it's most important that they're fitted tight, fit the panels tight. Along the top edge, what you want to do is pull the panels out very, very tight, which Owen is doing here. Okay. Then with an additional braddle, what we can do is we can just, I'm going to pull this up square because it will sag a little bit under its weight. But what I'm going to do is mark the position for the studs. So if you have a wide panel, bear in mind that it will probably sag down a little bit in the middle. You want to try and fit it so the top edge is level. Don't be scared to mark a line. If you need a line marked, just mark a line. Try and take out any sag. And then, very easy, just through the hole and stuff. If your structure is a hardwood where you'll have difficulty using a braddle, you could drill a pilot hole with perhaps a 2mm drill bit. Don't make the hole too deep, don't make the hole too wide. Just enough to catch to take the act as a pilot for the thread of the lithodox screw. So using a 9mm nut runner or a deep socket, or perhaps a ring spanner, 9mm ring spanner, we insert the studs one at a time. Going to start at the top. So rather than fitting piecemeal, one at a time, fit the corners as I showed you earlier, and then it's very easy to mark the intermediary studs. A tool like this makes it much easier than using a ring spanner. But the other possibility is you can get a deep socket. The socket needs to be long enough so that the head of this can sit within the socket, and the socket will actually grip on the nut part of the fitting. But then you could use that in a power tool. So we're based in Lyon-Solent, which is between Portsmouth and Southampton. We will have a display area. As you can see, we're actually installing those panels now. So anybody's welcome to visit the factory. We would just ask that you make an appointment first off, that we just know that you're coming in on a certain day. So what we do at the bottom, we put two studs closer together just to make sure the bottom is more secure. Okay, so we've now inserted all the Lithadot studs into the timber. This is the component part that's in the canvas work. These are all marine grade fasteners, the same that we've used for over 40 years in a marine environment where they're out 365 days a year, so you're going to have no corrosion issues. Now, we just clip on, and it's called a Lithadot, and the reason for that is there's a dot on the fastener, and they are actually designed only to come off by lifting in that direction. So if you try and take it off from the side, they're designed not to come off that way. So that people sometimes struggle to release the Lithadot, but you lift the dot part of the stud. What that does, it means that the fastening does not come off accidentally. Let me just pop these on. So they are fitted tight. So that will give you a much better fit and look to your canvas panels. I'm just going to ask Owen to come in close. What you'll find is that once these have been fitted and left up for a few hours, they will slacken off a touch, and so the fastenings will be much easier to come on and off. That's what we do in the bottom of all of our panels, unless you've actually asked for something a little bit different, is we put a pocket in the bottom. The pocket is closed one end, and the other end is just closed off with Velcro. Now, we don't supply a pole to go in the bottom of that pocket. You can use you don't have to use a batten or a pole, but you can use a piece of broom handle, you could use a wooden batten, or at an additional cost, we can supply you with a stainless pole. I'll show you the advantage of the pole or batten. So these can be added to your order at an additional cost. So not necessarily needed, but what that does, it actually stops the bottom of that going through, weights it down, but more importantly, so again with the Lithadot, I'm having to release from the bottom. It won't come off if I do it from the side. But what you'll find with the pole, besides stopping the panel blowing in between the post, and what we will do on larger width panels, we'll put a webbing strap. So there'll be a webbing strap that will go down to a fastener on the deck. We'll show you that later. With a pole, very, very easy for me to roll that panel up. The pole can serve two purposes. So it's not imperative that you have a pole. All of our panels will have a roll-up strap. There's little pockets on the inside, so you can tuck these up so they're not hanging down when they're not being used. So again, marine grade fasteners, that clips into there. Cool. On this panel.